This video is about how you actually don't have conscious control over any of your actions. And this is a metaphysical demonstration of how free will, libertarian free will, cannot possibly exist for humans. We have to understand, in order to comprehend this, we have to understand what moves us to act in the way that we do. And what we can see in Scripture is that the cause of our actions is the heart, and the heart is the place where desires exist. And Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So he indicated there that your heart motivates you to do what you do. And when you speak, it's out of the abundance of what is in your heart. And our hearts clearly have desires in them. The heart could be another word for your will. Your will is the sum of your desires in any given moment. And so at any given moment, you have fluctuating desires of different, fluctuating strengths of desire. So different desires have different strengths at different times, and it's constantly fluctuating throughout your life. And you have different desires and even opposing desires that exist at the same time in your will. For example, someone could want to go to the gym and not want to go to the gym at the same time, but the reason that they go to the gym and actually work out, even though they don't want to, is because their desire to go to the gym was greater than their desire to not go to the gym. And so the thing that moved them to go to the gym was the greatest desire concerning that thing, going to the gym. The greatest desire was to go to the gym. And so that was the motivating desire. Whatever desire moves you to take an action is the greatest desire concerning that certain action at that moment. And any other desire concerning that action that doesn't involve creating that action, that's a lesser desire. And this is just Logic 101 that we can. It makes perfect sense to describe the greatest desire concerning a certain action as being the one that actually moved the action to happen, as opposed to a desire that didn't move an action into existence. It would be absurd to say that, for example, the reason I chose chocolate ice cream instead of vanilla ice cream is because my desire for chocolate was less than my desire for vanilla. No, you chose. I chose chocolate because my desire for the chocolate was greater than my desire for the vanilla. If I desired both of them at the same time and then chose one of them, clearly in that moment in which I chose it, if I chose the chocolate, my desire for the chocolate was greater than my desire for the vanilla. If I have two different desires, one for chocolate, one for vanilla, and they're equal, then I'm not going to make an action in any direction. And if I did take an action in any direction towards the chocolate or vanilla, it would be like a body spasm that my consciousness was not in control of. And I think we can all agree that our actions, mental and physical, are not the equivalent of body spasms, and that they are actually controlled and moved by desires, our will. And the will is composed of desires. The thing is, even if you try to will yourself into liking the vanilla more than the chocolate, that decision to try to force yourself to like vanilla more than chocolate is a mental action that has its own motivating desire behind it. And so that's a demonstration that the conscious decision has its own desire and therefore is not the true cause. The conscious decision is not the true cause of what you did. What the true cause was the desire behind the conscious decision that led you to have the conscious decision, the desire that moved you to have the conscious decision to think to yourself, oh, I'm going to really try to make myself want vanilla now. So you can use your consciousness to increase desires, but before that ever happens, there's an original desire that moves you to decide that, to increase desire. And so ultimately, it's not your conscious decision that's moving you. It's the original desire to move in that direction. The desire always precedes the action. The action can create an increase in desire in the future, but there's always a desire that precedes the action, and you don't have any control over the strength of that desire. When it happens, you don't have any conscious control over it, because it's what influences what your consciousness decides to do. So your conscious decision to will yourself and to mentally create mental exercises that help you want vanilla chocolate or help you want vanilla ice cream more, those exercises, those mental actions, the decision to make yourself want vanilla more, that is moved by its own desire. So you can't claim that you have conscious control over what you do when your consciousness and what it does, your physical actions and your mental actions, are always moved by a desire, and that desire just appears in your consciousness. It just appears in your soul, and you don't have any control, conscious control, of the strength of that desire that always precedes the action. You can't take a conscious action that would be the original motivating force, because the original motivating force is always a desire